So people will always ask me, well, how do you embrace health? Well, first of all, stay away from health trends. There is no such thing. In fact, if you're going to be healthy, stake your health on timeless principles in health, even timeless principles in humanity, how you interact with others. Health is simple. There are 8 principles of health that we teach, and they're based on the philosophy that we are electrical beings. That, in fact, when we wake up in the morning and when our heads hit the pillow at night, we are on the hunt for electricity. And there's a lot of cultures in Asia that call it energy, they call it chi, they have all kinds of fun names for it, but bottom line is it's electrical. So we teach 8 timeless principles of health. So number 1 is get a lot of fresh air. It's abundant, it's free, it's a deposit. Air conducts electricity. Breathe deep, it's free. Water. It's interesting how the earth is 70% water. Our fruits and vegetables are 70% water. Our human bodies are 70% water from here down and 93% water up here. And so it makes a lot of sense to drink water. What we drink today walks and talks tomorrow. I mean, and what's so funny about today's generation is we're such the now pill generation that we get a headache and we go take a few pills and we drink just enough water to swallow the pills. We've got it really backwards. Throw the pills down and get a tall glass of water and drink it regularly. And just wait and see what happens. Water, particularly moving water, conducts electricity. What if the sun were a no-show tomorrow? What would happen to life as we know it? Unless you're a bat or a kiwi bird, you know, it'll go away, basically. Sunshine in moderation is good for you. The sun produces rare micronutrients in the body that only the sun can bring you. So get out in front of the sun and be its friend. Number 4, exercise. Now there's 1,000 ways to exercise. We get that, but one way to consider is just simply walking. There's a lot of studies that say that walking will fire up your metabolism, that in fact psychologically there's studies that indicate that it's hard to be sad and walk at the same time, that walking in fact makes us happy. Number 5 is trust in nature, meaning that if Mother Nature made it, eat it, and if man made it, eat it in moderation or leave it alone. It's funny when you look at the indigenous cultures, how they didn't have to think about the foods that they ate. Nutrition to them was common sense. When they looked at food, it had a purpose to them. For example, signature foods is what they called it, sign nature, signature. They would cut a carrot and look at the inside of the carrot and see that it resembled the eye, and without even thinking about it. And I emphasize, without even thinking about it. They just believed that carrots were good for the eyes. Science now has studied the carrot and declared the same. The walnut and the brain. That a walnut is a small replica of the brain, and walnuts are loaded with essential fatty acids which have been studied to be good and perfect for the brain. Tomatoes in the heart. White blood cells and red blood cells, or white grapes and red grapes studied to be for the blood and heart. Here's the fun thing. Maybe somebody thought this through for us before we ever got here. You know, maybe nature is nutritionally complex, so we don't have to be. So tonight when our head hits the pillow, we can absolutely depend on what nature created for us long before we were even created. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Number 6 is relationships, the nutritional value that comes in being responsible for good and happy and relationships in our lives. We don't always view them as part of our overall health, but the way that we can is ask ourselves if anybody absolutely made you feel more alive than ever, or has anyone ever made you feel sick and ill? So the fact is that with relationships we have 2 choices. A, we can take the short route, which everybody likes to take, and that is tell our victim stories of how we were treated by this boss or that boss. We get a new job, the same boss shows up. We get in a new relationship, we have the same issues. The opposite of that is having these beautiful relationships in life. People that we love and that just absolutely fuel our overall energy inside. I tell the story of a roommate who had the hots for a girl in the college, and from 0 to 100 he would go. When the second he would hear her voice or he was going to go see her, his complete energy would change. So if you don't think that relationships are part of your health, look in the mirror, because that's where it starts. And stop blaming others and start taking responsibility. And it starts by simply saying, I am responsible for all the relationships in my life. 7 is passion. It's really sad. I travel around, I hear people say, oh, we used to dance, we used to sing, we used to play ball, we used to, and I think to myself, so what, death is next? You don't need anyone's permission to engage in your passion. It could be karaoke, it could be dancing, it could be remodeling cars, it could be anything. But the point is, whatever it is, do it. And do it abundantly. And you'll find that when you're doing your passions, you too will be happy. And then final thing that's bigger than all of us is your spirituality. Whatever that means to you. Something that's bigger than us that we can't get in the way. And so when you anchor everything we just talked about with your spirituality, you will feel more alive than ever. You will feel the electricity that we're talking about, and you will leverage the magic bullet, which is your body. Your body will perform miracles by the minute when you learn how to honor and edify its intelligence. So by living the 8 principles of health, your body is practically bound to put you in a space of health, happiness, peace, and abundance. And the whole point is this, folks. Health is the pathway to creating and sustaining your dreams of love and family and intimacy and money and spirituality. And so when you embrace health, you discover that health is kindness, and kindness is in fact health. And that is what Powered by ForeverGreen is. It's health, kindness, and opportunity.